What happens when we die? Where does consciousness go? To answer this, we first have to understand what consciousness actually is. Consciousness isn't just a byproduct of the brain. It's not something created by neurons firing or electrical impulses in our body. Rather, consciousness is the screen onto which reality is projected. It is the foundation of existence itself, the space in which experience happens. Imagine watching a movie. The images and sounds change, but the screen itself remains. Your consciousness is that screen, unaffected by the ever-changing events of life. It is the awareness behind your thoughts, emotions, and experiences. A lot of people think the mind and the brain are the same thing, but they're actually very different. The brain is a physical organ. It processes information, controls bodily functions, and helps us navigate the world. It's like a biological computer, receiving input, running programs, and managing responses. But the mind isn't physical. It's not made of neurons or chemicals. The mind is awareness itself, the space where thoughts, emotions, and perceptions arise. It's what allows us to experience reality. Think of the brain like a radio receiver and the mind like the signal it picks up. The radio doesn't create the music, it just tunes into the signal and translates it into something we can hear. This is why consciousness doesn't end when the body dies. The brain may shut down, but the awareness that was being received, the mind, continues. This idea isn't new. Ancient civilizations, mystics, and philosophers have understood the nature of consciousness for thousands of years. Ancient Egypt taught that the soul, or Ka, continued after death, traveling through different realms of existence. Hinduism and Buddhism describe consciousness as eternal, reincarnating through lifetimes to learn and evolve. Plato believed that the soul existed before birth and continued after death, dwelling in a greater reality beyond this physical world. Taoist and Hermetic traditions spoke of the mind as the architect of reality, shaping existence through thought and intention. For millennia, these traditions have described the universe as mental, an infinite field of awareness where reality unfolds like a dream. Modern science is catching up. For a long time, science has viewed consciousness as just a byproduct of brain activity. But now, cutting-edge research is starting to align with what the ancients already knew. Quantum physics suggests that consciousness plays a fundamental role in shaping reality. The famous double-slit experiment shows that matter behaves differently when observed, suggesting that awareness itself is woven into the structure of existence. Neuroscientists have studied near-death experiences where people clinically die but return with vivid memories of awareness beyond the body, descriptions that align with spiritual traditions worldwide. Theories like panpsychism propose that consciousness isn't created by the brain at all, but instead exists everywhere in the universe, even at the atomic level. Science is beginning to realize that consciousness is not inside the brain. The brain is just a filter for a much greater awareness. What makes you, you? If consciousness is fundamental, then what makes you unique? Your sense of self, the you that you identify with, is formed over a lifetime. The ego is created through experiences, conditioning, memories, and perceptions. It's a collection of thoughts and stories that define who we think we are. But none of these things are consciousness itself. They are just experiences appearing within consciousness. And this leads us to the question, what happens when we die? Death isn't the end of consciousness. It's simply the dissolution of the body, the vessel through which we experience this reality. Every cell in our body holds consciousness to some degree, not just the brain. The brain doesn't generate consciousness. It acts as a receiver, filtering and interpreting reality for us. But reality is far greater than what our senses perceive. When the body dies, the filter falls away. The awareness that was once localized in this human form remains. We don't stop existing. We simply shift into a broader state of awareness. In this universe, everything is mental. Reality is shaped by the mind, by belief, by awareness itself. And so in death, we continue to create. If someone deeply believes in heaven, their consciousness will project that experience onto their awareness. If they fear hell, that belief may manifest too. We enter into worlds of our own making, realities shaped by the mind's perception. But these experiences aren't permanent. They are just the next phase of awareness unfolding. As we journey through these realms, we continue to expand our consciousness, moving ever closer to the ultimate realization. Beyond all experiences, beyond all stories, beyond all projections, there is only pure, infinite awareness, the ocean of consciousness from which everything arises. And as we grow, as we evolve, as we release the illusions of separation, we return to that infinite source. We don't die, we transform. We dissolve back into the infinite sea of awareness, no longer bound by form, but existing as pure being. Because in truth, we were never separate from it to begin with. Consciousness doesn't end, it simply is.